Right now, you can lock in 30 days of any NBA or college basketball plays, including 5% best bets released from your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper for just $6.63 per day. A 30-day NBA pass is priced at $189 and a 30-day college basketball pass at $189. But you can get both for only $199. To take advantage of this special offer, just go to WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. Choose your favorite handicapper and lock in all basketball action for the next 30 days. Even better, there's no limit to how many handicappers this offer can be redeemed on.
All right, January the 14th, it is Thursday. Welcome in another edition of the College Basketball Show. It is powered by WagerTalk.com, and we are loaded here today. Great card in college hoops today. We got 4 games we're going to break down for you. We're going to go Purdue, Indiana, San Diego State, Utah State. Should be a great game. BYU taking on St. Mary's, and Stanford taking on Utah. We will get you caught up, and of course, our best bets and the Gold Sheet play of the day coming your way here in the next 28 and a half minutes. I'm Joe Raineri, and let's bring in the fellas if we can. What a panel here, guys. Welcome back, Marco D'Angelo to the house. Marco having a quite a little run here going on in college basketball. We're going to explain that coming up. Ralph Michaels, my neighbor downstairs, and of course, as far as I'm concerned, it's his birthday all damn week. Dave Cokin joining us here. Another big night for him. Great way to celebrate the birthday, making it a profitable one, that is for sure. Let's take a look at those Twitter handles for those of you that want to follow these guys, and I suggest that you absolutely do. At Marco in Vegas, at Cal Sports LV, and Dave at Dave Cokin. And Marco, let me start with you, man. It's been a while since we saw you, about a week ago. So, how's it been going in college hoops? And I know you got something up right now, big 5% play tonight here in college basketball.
Yeah, Joe, it's been a great 2021 for me. We're hitting 67% on all plays. But tonight's a special night. I'm going to be releasing my first 5% of the college basketball season. They're rare for me. I know everybody uses the phrase a rare 5%, but you've got to go back to March of 2019. I've only released 14 at 5% plays in college basketball, and we're 11-3 with those. But I'm going to tell you guys, don't buy my play tonight because it's $40 for the game by itself. If you pick up a 3-day package, you can get 3 days, $69, and you're going to get a second 5% in there. I've got a 5% in the NFL on the weekend, and that play sells for $40 by itself. And our football is on an incredible 13-2 run to start 2021. So that's the way to go for that. Check out the play tonight by itself, or take the value and go for a 3-day package and get every play I have.
Sounds like money if you ask me. Speaking of money, Dave Cokin celebrating his birthday yesterday with a win and a nice, what are we now, 9-1, I believe here, Dave, on a current college basketball streak. Great stuff. What do you got tonight? How was it last night with the birthday?
The best bets are 9-1. The smaller plays haven't done quite as well, but lost Mississippi State. It was a weird, funny night because the game I looked like I was going to win, I lost. And the game it looked like I was going to lose, I won. Mississippi State well ahead of Texas A&M. And then they went 6 minutes plus without a point. And that made it a close game, and they ended up losing. So that was a miss. But the best bet was Texas Tech. And I believe the only time they ever led in the game was the final score. McClung hit a terrific shot. Outstanding coaching by Chris Beard down the stretch. He threw a press at Texas. They weren't expecting it and turned it over. It was a terrific win. That was the best bet, so it turned out to be a profitable 1-1. I'm happy with that. Got a best bet up tonight. Also have a free play. You can view that on my homepage at WagerTalk.com, which is wt.buzz/DC. It's also on my Twitter account. Just follow me at Dave Cokin, and you can see the video there. That's the game I'll use as the best bet here on the show. And the reason I don't have a free play every day is all my free plays are actual plays. There's selections that are going out to all my players. I don't put up opinion plays. So this is a play I'm using, and we'll talk about it here on the show.
Love it. Yep. We'll get those are coming up here, guys. And quick reminder, Dave's birthday special still going on. 10 days. You can get Dave all access. Every play that he selects and he posts there. $68. Just use the code LEGEND68 at checkout. Ralph Michaels, my friend, we missed you yesterday, but you were in our hearts. What else can I say, my friend? How'd you do last night? And what do you got going on tonight, Ralph?
Well, I did the opposite of Dave. Dave had a money-making 1-1. I had a disappointing 1-1 in college basketball. I had a 5-star that I felt was one of my strongest plays of the year. It was Rhode Island, and it's a game, that's why they play the game, guys. Fats Russell, one of the best guards in the conference, one of the best players in the conference, goes 2-10, and we missed 10 free throws, shooting 11 of 21. So Rhode Island loses by 2 and over in Massachusetts. And anytime a team's going to make 11 more free throws than you, it's going to be hard to win those games. So 1-1 in college hoops and a disappointing 5-star loss on the Rhode Island Rams.
That's all right. Today is a new day here, guys. And before we get to our first game up here, Purdue, Indiana, I do want to let you guys know at Wager Talk right now, you can get 30 days all access. Every basketball play from these three gentlemen, $199. That's all access. Every college and NBA play they post. All you got to do is go to WagerTalk.com, get it up there. No code needed, nothing along those lines. 30 days, $199. Every basketball play, NBA or college hoops, all yours right now at WagerTalk.com. Let's take a look at some of the performances there, Ralph, from last night, in fact. And it was a very interesting night last night in a lot of aspects. Some of the names up here may not be very familiar to some there, Ralph, but what stuck out to you here last night?
Yeah, I actually didn't follow any of those three games that, we saw. So, I know Greg Parham's name's been up there for VMI before for 29 points. That and a loss, they're ones that presses that pace. And, we see that scoring. Furman Citadel, again, Citadel's another team that absolutely presses the pace, giving their opponents opportunities to put up big numbers.
Let's take a look at some of those big covers there last night, guys, as we kind of NC State, that Florida State game. Dave, was there anything a lot of people were they turned it off. They knew it was a win rather quickly in that matchup.
I didn't watch a minute of it. I just know Florida State won rather comfortably, and NC State's not very good.
No. It was their first game this year in 2021 as well. We talked about that on the show. Florida State takes care of business, and I won't bring up Rhode Island, Ralph, because I know it's a pain in your heart, so I won't do it. I'm going to move on from it, but give me the best overs and unders last night as well as we take a look at that. And Dave, that Texas Tech game, I know you were on Tech there, but what can I say about Texas Tech over there? That was a game back and forth there. I know a lot of folks, including our friend Tony Mejia was on the show yesterday, had the under in there, but it was a fun game to watch as well, especially if you had Texas Tech, Dave.
It wasn't fun for most of the game. I just like the ending. And that's all that matters.
That makes it all worth it.
It's only the final score that matters. And,
that's exactly it.
So,
I
Texas
love it.
Tech, this is Texas is really good.
Yep.
Really good. I was very impressed by the Longhorns last night, as I have been all season. Texas Tech's, I thought the reason I liked the play as much as I did was the scheduling, because I thought Texas, boy, they're coming up. They were off an absolute war with West Virginia over the weekend. Texas Tech basically had the two Big 12 cupcakes their last two games, Kansas State and Iowa State. And it was my feeling that a coach like Chris Beard, and he's one of the best there is, he basically had 10 days to game plan for Texas last night with two games in there to keep his team sharp. So I thought this was a big scheduling edge for Tech, and I'll say that I was right because I won. But they, the Longhorns did not disappoint last night for anybody who was looking for a good Texas performance. This team's very legitimate. And as for Tech, they got to play Baylor over the weekend. That It's one of the best games you'll find this weekend in college basketball.
Looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to this first game up here tonight, too, Marco. I'm going to start with you as we take a look at Purdue versus Indiana here. And I will say this, and I know there's Trevion Williams showed up for Purdue a couple of, I believe it was last Friday, in fact, with that win over Michigan State. And Indiana opens up -3, total 131. Are you as impressed with that victory now as everybody was when it happened over there? How do you have this Purdue team going into this game against Indiana?
Well, Joe, for me, I'm looking at this game. I think this is a bad spot for Purdue. Like Dave talked about Texas being in a bad spot last night. I think that you got that kind of setup with this game. You got Purdue. This is going to be their 4th straight road game. Now, they pulled off the big upset, but I'll tell you what, they spent a lot of energy pulling off that upset because they were down 15 points at the half at Michigan State. I don't know what the in-game money line would have been at halftime, but it would have been astronomical. No way you would have gave Purdue the opportunity to come back and win that game, and they did in a defensive battle. And you're going to probably see another defensive battle again tonight. Both teams play good defense. Now, Indiana has been experimenting a little bit with their lineup this season, getting the right combination, and I think they found it. I look at Purdue. The other thing that scares me about Purdue on the road here tonight, which has me leaning to go against them in this game and also has me looking at the under as well, is the fact that the last 2 games, even in victory last time out, they've shot 39 and 33% from the field. You're not going to win basketball games like that. And we've seen the home dominance this year in the Big Ten so far. I got to look at the Indiana side here. In Purdue, give you a little stat on them. Going back to the start of last season, they're now 4-12 against the spread on the road. Just can't pull the trigger off that mammoth upset on Friday night. I'll go ahead and fade them here. Look at the Indiana side.
Ralph, when you look at the history of these two teams, it's clearly Purdue. I mean, they've won the last 7 head-to-heads here. How do you have this game tonight?
So that means Archie Miller's due, right?
It's the due play of the day.
He's 0-5, but you read the Indiana paper, and it's Archie Miller who thought he was in a horrible scheduling spot. They had played 3 games in 7 days and back-to-back road games, so they recovered. Purdue is off that Michigan State upset, but it was 6 days ago, so they did not have a midweek game, which just does change that perspective. I do agree with the Indiana side, but I needed Armand Franklin to play. He's a game-time decision. He started the first 11. He only played 7 against Maryland, and he's missed the last 2 games. If he were in this lineup and healthy to go, I would be on Indiana. Purdue's going to be an interesting matchup because you have Trevion Williams, and then you have the 7'4" freshman Eddie, to bang around Indiana big. So, they're going to have Eddie plays about 15 minutes, and he averages about 3 fouls per game. So they're going to get Eddie in. He's going to bang on Jackson Davis, and they're going to give him some bumping around. So a physical challenge. I actually lean under here, and Marco mentioned that Purdue record against the spread on the road. Looking back, 2, 4, 6, 8, they're only 2-10 their last 10 games this year. The only covers against Michigan State and against Notre Dame. But I'm going to go under in this game.
Going under. And Dave, size advantage definitely favors Purdue in this one. Indiana likes to do a lot of their damage inside the paint there. How do you have these two matched up?
Well, you got the game within the game because it's Jackson Davis against Williams, 2 of the best players in the country. And it might very well be that whoever gets the best of that matchup on the stat sheet is in the win column. I don't really care much about Purdue's win against Michigan State because Michigan State's just not that good. Okay, I mean the team in Michigan that is good is Michigan. They're real good. Sparty's, I know I've mentioned this before because we talk about their games a lot. Their point guard situation just isn't very good, and until they straighten that out, beating them to me is not that big a deal. I match the teams up offensively and defensively, and I come up with a slight edge for Indiana. Maybe it's in the line. I think they deserve to be favored here. But I would lean to the Hoosiers in this game. Not a game that made my card. Should be a real grinder. I agree that it'll be a low-scoring game. I'll go with Indiana to come out on top.
All right, Indiana coming out on top. Let's switch over to the Mountain West here, guys. Two Mountain West teams. This is going to be a good game here. Utah State taking on San Diego State. San Diego State coming off of that victory against New Mexico. Utah State, rather, beating New Mexico there. Nevada is who San Diego State took care of, barely, but did last game out. Opens up at Utah State -2, total at 131. Ralph, you've been a supporter of Utah State now for the last month here. You like them in this spot against San Diego State at home?
I thought I did. Yesterday, before I started looking at numbers, I was thinking, Utah State at home. But breaking down the game more, I don't. I mean, it is refreshing that the best game on the card is a Mountain West game tonight, and it really is. This is the best matchup. I mean, I think I'm going to ask Dave. I'm sure this is the game he would want to watch. I don't know who he has action-wise, but I break it down like this. You look at Utah State's run. Let's remember they started the season 1-2, losing to VCU, South Dakota State, and BYU, all teams in the 60 to 100 range. Then they make this impressive run. Well, who have they played? Northern Colorado, San Jose State, Air Force, and New Mexico, the absolute worst teams in the Mountain West. So when you break down the numbers, Utah State, yes, perhaps you're shooting 46% and allowing 38%, but it's against the number 254 schedule. I'm going to take a battle-tested San Diego State team. This is going to be a war. Yes, they're playing this like it's going to be the Mountain West title. But, I have Matt Mitchell on the court. I have the best player on the court. I have a point guard that I trust, that you have a senior point guard and a junior shooting guard. I like the Aztecs here. And again, a low game, but the under, I was thinking about using the under, but I stayed away from it from this. They play Thursday, they play Saturday, so they don't play back-to-back. If a team gets down early, I think we're going to see a lot of free throw shooting, a lot of fouls, and those are games I don't want to play unders in.
I got to ask you, Dave, coin flip, in your opinion, in this game? I think it's been a while since San Diego State's actually had a true road game here. How do you have it lined up?
Well, I mean, pretty much what Ralph said. San Diego State has played a much tougher schedule. Utah State has played just absolute garbage outside of the 3 games they lost. They faced 3 quality opponents, and they lost all 3 games, and 2 of them were not close. So, I don't know what to make of Utah State. Are they as good as they've shown? I mean, granted, they're playing lousy competition, but they are absolutely killing these teams. San Diego State has been playing a lot tougher competition, but there are some things I don't like about the Aztecs, and one of them is that this has been an ongoing thing with them. They go through offensive droughts where they just don't get any flow and end up just launching threes randomly, and that's something they're going to have to correct. I think the strategy here for me is I'm going to sit this one out. They play again on Saturday. I am rooting for San Diego State tonight. I hope they win, because I'll then be looking really hard at Utah State on Saturday. Number 1, they'll have revenge. Number 2, it'll be the second of back-to-backs in 3 days in that altitude in Logan, Utah, which would favor the Aggies. So it's a wait-and-see game for me. I hope San Diego State wins, and then I'll be looking to come back on Utah State on Saturday.
Marco, interesting. The total opens up at 130. I'm seeing 132.5 now. Maybe that was a little low of a number, but do you see points in this game, or do you think we're going to see a grind-them-out defensive battle?
Well, if you like San Diego State, you're going to like the under, because it's going to be grinded out with them. When I looked at this game, Dave, when you started your last part of it, you're going to watch this game and hope. I thought we were on the same page. We got the same thought, but it's the other way around. I lean to San Diego State tonight, but I want them to lose. and then I'm going to be all over San Diego State on Saturday. And here's why.
Too.
The situation, everything we've talked about with the strength of schedule, and to tell you how poorly the schedule has been that Utah State has played, they're going back to last season. They've now won 9 straight in the conference. And that goes back to actually they won the conference championship last year, if you remember. And who was that against? It was against San Diego State. Well, San Diego State was a lock for a high seed last year. And that, we don't want to say it, but the only way Utah State was getting in the dance, which ended up didn't happening, was to win the Mountain West Conference championship game. And San Diego State, after winning the 2 regular season meetings, lost the conference championship game. But this year, the schedule that Utah State has played, the teams that they have faced in the Mountain West have a combined 1-17 straight up record. Now, with all that said, why am I not unloading on San Diego State tonight? Because this is the statement game for Utah State. This is the one where, okay, yeah, we've got this winning streak, but we haven't played anybody. This is where they prove that they're legit. And if they pull off the win tonight and get that satisfying win, I am all over San Diego State on Saturday. I don't see them losing 2 in a row there. And with what you said with the back-to-back altitude, the fact that they're playing tonight and have tomorrow off, they're going to have an extra day to get acclimated to the altitude. So they will be there for 3 days in a row. I don't think it would be the same effect as if they were playing back-to-back nights. So I'm going to sit this one out, watch it, root for Utah State to pull it out. And the other thing with San Diego State, and I gave this stat last week on the show, this is one of those momentum plays. It's a league-wide system. If you take a team that's won 3 in a row and they're on the road and the line is +3 to -3, those teams are 115-72 against the spread. Now, that's in all of college basketball, and I like to refer to that as my momentum play. Take that momentum out on the road when you're on a winning streak. But tonight, I'm going to root for them to lose because I think the better percentage play comes Saturday.
I'm rooting for you and Dave here. Okay, so let's, by the way, just a quick reminder here. Everyone's going to watch and wants the other team to lose. I love it. Reminder, though, Marco has his 5%, his first 5% play of the game of the year in college basketball. It is up, guys, at Wager Talk right now. You can head on over there. Don't forget Dave. He's also got his birthday special going on. All access, 10 days. Every play Dave posts, all yours right now. Heading over to WagerTalk.com for just $68. Use the code LEGEND68. And Ralph, you might as well grab 30 days of every college basketball and NBA Ralph posts right now, guys. $199 will get you 30 days. Total access to his basketball plays at WagerTalk.com. Dave, let me turn to you for this West Coast battle here, a team that we've talked about before on the show. BYU taking on St. Mary's. A couple of teams here that finding it hard this year to get into a rhythm, a lot of cancellations and switching, and it's been a rough go of it. But BYU coming off of that beatdown from the Zags there, I don't know. Do you pay attention to that at this point? Water under the bridge? How are you looking at BYU tonight?
No, I don't. Gonzaga results don't mean anything because nobody's got a chance against them in this conference. They can win every game they want by as much as they want. So it's just okay. Just scratch that one and move on. I think BYU is a winner here. I just don't think St. Mary's is very good this season. I mean, Randy Bennett's had a lot of good teams there, and he's an excellent coach. But this team just doesn't seem to have the personnel. They got the point guard is really good, whose name escapes me right now. He's really good. That's pretty much it. This is just kind of a ragtag St. Mary's team. They lost a lot from last year, and I think it's just one of those years where they'll still be okay. And their record's 9-3, so it's not like they're a horrible team, but they're just not at the level they've been in past years, and they're starting to get priced like they're not as well. I think the odds makers have caught up to them pretty quickly. BYU is the better team here. And yeah, if BYU goes out and plays its game, I don't think it's going to be a romp by any means, but I think the Cougars are just better than St. Mary's and should win the game.
Ralph, first 1 to 60 win this game. How do you have this? How do you have it going down? Opened up right around that 131, 132 mark.
Well, BYU's playing with some tempo, and the player that escaped Dave is Tommy Kuzi. So
that's it.
You look at St. Mary's.
How does a guy from New England? I mean, I grew up with Bob Cousy. They're not spelled the same, but I should know that name. Jeez, especially being a point guard.
I was going to say Bob's son from the Celtics to see you would have gotten it. So grandson probably, but no, it's KUH something. So I agree. You look at St. Mary's, you think they're 9-3. They were off a tough beat against Santa Clara. They were off an emotional last-second loss against Santa Clara on Saturday. I think that affects them. The two best teams they played this year, Memphis and San Diego State, they also lost to them. Their best win is Colorado State at home, and that was where Colorado State couldn't shoot the ball. I do like BYU. Let's also add in that Alex Dukas for St. Mary's started the first 9 games. He's out this game as well. So they have much less depth. This BYU team's played a top 75 schedule. Losses to USC, to Boise, to Gonzaga. We threw out the Gonzaga loss. You have for BYU, you have the perfect inside-outside game. Matt Harms was, I think, the Purdue transfer, giving him the 7'3" guy in the middle. That opens up the three-point shot for Eric Basello. He's number 1 in the country, shooting 60% from three-point land. That inside-out game for BYU has me on the Cougars tonight.
Marco, let me ask you from this perspective. Dave's got a good point, right? You don't think a lot about BYU losing to Zags. Nobody's beating them. But if you're St. Mary's, guess who's next? It's the Zags. So how do you approach this from the St. Mary's side, knowing what's on tap for you?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the sad part of going last when you got 2 sharp guys on the panel with you is they take all your good stuff. Oh, I have nothing left to say. But
you got somebody at Gulfstream you can Joe, drop in.
Yeah, you took the last one. They got Gonzaga on deck. But what I will point out is both teams are 9-3, and as Ralph alluded to, the 3 losses for BYU, an early season loss on a neutral court to a Pac-12 team. No shame in that, losing the USC game. Then he just brushed over the Boise State game. And when I broke this game down, I actually was kicking myself in my big old butt for missing this one. On our Bet On It show, Joe, every week I do a sandwich game. Well, I missed a mammoth sandwich spot with BYU. They were coming off Utah State and then had Utah on deck. Now, I know that's a big rivalry, those 3 teams in the state of Utah. And then they had Boise sandwiched in between. That's how I explained the Boise loss. And then, of course, the Gonzaga loss, we don't have to say anything about that. So clearly, BYU, to me, is the better team in this game. They've played the much tougher schedule. And St. Mary's, you look at them, they have not shot the basketball well. 3 of their last 4 games, they've shot 39% or worse. That's not good going against this BYU team. And give you a little stat, BYU last 3 seasons, if they're coming off a road loss to a conference foe, they're 6-0 against the spread in the next one. So I did have something that these guys didn't say. We'll go BYU as well.
Marco's also texting me, take the 4-horse tomorrow at Tampa Downs in the 5th race. He loves it. You're good to go there. All right, one more game, Marco. I'm coming back to you then for this one, Pac-12. Before we lay out the best bets here on the show for you, why don't we take a look at this Stanford game? Stanford taking on Utah. And Marco, it is a tale of 2 teams going in 2 different directions. Stanford, a little younger, but boy, oh boy, revving it up. 7 out of the last 8. Utah has not been good. I think they've lost 4 straight heading into this game. Stanford's the better team. At least that's what the numbers say. What do you say?
Well, as Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friends. Let's look at the 4 teams that Utah just lost to. they're four of the better teams in the Pac-12. Now, granted, Stanford would fit in that category right now as one of the better teams, but they lost at UCLA, at Southern Cal. We know how hard it is to do that LA double dip. And then they play a very good Oregon team and a Colorado team that I think is a lot better than people give them credit for. So I look at those four losses, and granted, it doesn't look good when you see 4 L's in a row, but I think they've played a much tougher schedule in the recent games. And I am going to look at Utah. I think the wrong team is favored here because of that overreaction of the recency bias. You got one team on a 4-game losing streak, and you got another team that's won 3 in a row and 7 of the last 8. I'm going to go ahead and look at them. These two split the season series last year, but I will tell you that 5 straight wins for Utah at home against Stanford. Stanford has had their problems coming in here. Again, might be one of those situations where you're dealing with the altitude problems. And we always talk about the altitude whenever teams do the Utah-Colorado trip. I always think the back half of that is more of a problem. But I like Utah in this one. I think they get the job done, and we'll go from them. In the last game, if you look at Utah, their last game, they were 4 of 19 from three-point range. That's not going to get you a win. And they only got to the foul line. They only shot 11 foul shots in the last game. That is bad. What's even worse is they only made 2 of the 11. They can't play any worse of a game than they did last time out. It was a rare Monday game with the schedules being shuffled around. I think, now they're back onto a normal schedule. I see a better effort out of Utah. I think the wrong team's favorite once again. Take Utah.
You agree with that, Dave? You think the wrong team's favorite in this one?
No, I don't. I don't think Utah's as bad as they showed in the last game. They were up 10 at the half against Colorado and then just got destroyed in the second half. But they're just not playing very well. There's something missing every game, it seems. The foul shooting, as Marco mentioned, was a disaster in the last game. I like this Stanford squad. I like them a lot, in fact. Now, I'm not betting them in this spot because I don't think it's a great spot for them. But look, De Silva's a heck of a player. Williams is a good player. They've been winning games without 2 of their key players. Bryce Willis has been hurt. Davis has been out. I think that they're both still out. They're getting closer to returning.
Yep.
The freshman O'Connell has stepped up and played some really good guard. He's a smart player. Takes good care of the ball. And that's the thing about this Stanford team, and I know this won't be a revelation to anybody because you would expect this out of a Stanford team. You won't see a team that plays smarter basketball than Stanford. These are all high IQ guys on and off the court. You don't get into Stanford unless you got something going on in the gray matter category. And it shows on the court. I mean, they're just a really intelligent team. I think they're going to be a tough team when they get everybody back. They might be right there with UCLA at the top of the Pac-12. And the reason I don't like them here, they've got a bigger game to me on Saturday at Colorado. And that might be the spot, in fact, that I might consider going against Stanford. I think Stanford wins tonight, but it's too close to the number for me to make a bet on it. But I really don't want any part of this Utah team until I get some kind of a buy signal on them, and I just don't see it right now.
Ralph, Marco brought up scheduling, and right now it looks like Ken Pom has Stanford as the 56th as far as scheduling goes. Utah 73rd in the country when it comes from a scheduling perspective here. How big a difference is that in your mind between these two teams?
It's not, because you're in Pac-12 play and we're looking at numbers that are more relevant than that because those are overalls. You talk scheduling, Joe. Here's the scheduling part. Pac-12 did Utah absolutely no favorites. Utah just played that Colorado game. They stuck that in the middle of nowhere. Utah's now playing their 3rd game in 6 days, and when they play Cal on Saturday, that's their 4th game in 8 days, all conference opponents. That's unheard of. So, they're trying to figure these COVID situations out. Utah clearly got screwed in this. I sent out, when I sent out my plays today, Dave, you are right. You talked about those two players that are missing, but we didn't quite emphasize how important they are. Davis is a 4-year starter. He started the first 5 games. He's missed the last 5. Bryce Willis, a 3-year starter. He started the first 9 and missed the last couple. This Stanford team can win the Pac-12 tournament with De Silva, with those two players back, with the young players that have gotten better now. They are going to be that good if everyone gels when they get back. Both of those players are now up to game time decisions, questionable and game time decisions. If you are tuning in this game, and please note, it's 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. If you tune into that game and at least one of those players are back, I would be on Stanford. If both of those players are back, I would be on Stanford as the best bet. I still lean Stanford in the spot. 3 games in 6 days against the Utah squad that doesn't have offense, just way too much to overcome.
Interesting. I'm looking at the number here, 137.5, 138's out there. The last 5 times these two teams have played, less than 137 points have been scored. So it'll be interesting to see where this game ends up. But it's not going to be all that hard for you guys to figure out right now. If you head over to WagerTalk.com, we're going to get to our best bets and our friends at the Gold Sheet in a minute. But just want to remind you guys that Marco's got his very first 5% college basketball play up right now. Go get it, guys. On fire with his 5% college basketball plays. You can go to his page right now, Marco D'Angelo. Go also while you're there. Make sure you check out Dave. Opportunity for you to hop on for a 10-day all-access birthday special. Get 10 days. Every play of Dave's, $68 right now. Use the code LEGEND68. And Ralph, grab all 30 days of his plays. $199 right now. 30 days, all access, every college hoops and NBA play from Ralph. $199. All right, guys, it is best bets time here. We're going to start with our friends at the Gold Sheet here, Ralph. Heading down my way here at a little FIU in this game tonight, it looks like, against their counterparts in Boca, FAU.
Absolutely. The Gold Sheet play of the day, Florida International. As you can see, a Gold Sheet with the new format, with the last 3 games, with the previous meetings, with the statistical breakdown up top. I will have that on my Twitter just after the show ends, at CalSportsLV, so you can read the entire write-up on why the Gold Sheet play of the day is on the Florida International Panthers.
Love it. All right, Marco, we're starting to you, my friend. Talk to us. Bet of the night here. What'd you circle? What are you giving for us?
Well, this is my best bet for the show, and I gave it as a free play on my homepage. And looks like I'm out there on an island by myself with it because my cohorts here on the show seem to like the other side. But I like Utah here. I'm sorry. I just think that I'm putting a line through that last game. The fact that they had to play it on short notice, no prep, and they played it on a Monday, just, not their normal routine. Yeah, I know the other team had the same situation as well, but the shooting from Utah in that game was so bad. I just can't see them having a game like that again. I like them here. The history of Utah playing well against Stanford at home until Stanford can go in there and do it and show me they can win there. I just can't pull the trigger on them. And the injuries, if both guys are in there, that would taper me a little bit. But the fact that, they're still listed game time decision, and that means they're not 100%. So if they do come in, how effective will they be? I'll go ahead and take Utah for my best bet.
All right. Mario's going against a little contrarian, running the other way from you guys. He's going to Utah in this. Dave, talk to us, my friend. Which way are you leaning tonight in college hoops?
Well, I'm glad Marco's here because I'm going to bring up one of his favorite expressions. UCLA.
Sandwich?
No. UCLA could be fat and sassy.
Woo!
Marco uses that, and it's actually a good angle. And well, Marco, before I talk about the game itself, I'll let you explain what fat and sassy means because it's not just something you came up with.
Yeah, well, what we look at is when a team's coming off, a big win and feeling good about themselves. One, they're overconfident. 2, the line's going to be inflated because everybody sees, that big win that they had or so forth. And you're looking to try to predict where a team just might be a little bit flat. They're feeling a little bit too good about themselves and not take their opponent seriously. And that's dangerous when you're laying points. That's how you try to find live underdogs in sports. And I find this to be more so in college sports because you're dealing with younger kids, the emotions and, the old expression, we live for today. Well, you had that big win and you go out and party. I don't know if they party as much during COVID as you normally would do, but that's the premise of Fat and Sassy.
And
hey, Dave, next time you ask Marco for a definition, can you ask him for the short version, please?
No, I think a good angle like that needs explanation. And I think it's in play on the Washington State UCLA game. The Bruins are now alone at the top of the Pac-12. They're 5-0. They're coming off a weekend sweep down in the desert against Arizona State and Arizona. Washington State actually matches up with them fairly well because the Cougars have a lot of size and play good defense. They're not very good offensively, and they haven't beaten anybody yet. Their record's a little bit misleading. But I think Washington State and UCLA are going to be a low-tempo game, and I think the Cougars will disturb them enough on the offensive end with their size on defense so that UCLA won't be getting easy looks. To me, +9 is a little generous here. I think UCLA wins, but I think it's a competitive game. And if it's a competitive game and I can get 9, I'll take it. So Washington State plus the points is the free play, or the best bet. It's also my free play today.
Yep, no, like that. Yep, that number's hovering right around there. And Ralph, come on, my friend. Which way you going here tonight? Team number 300 and...
Well, Dave has to give ode to Marco, so I do too. So I'm going to use one of Marco's favorite expressions as well. Chicken wings. Oh, had nothing to do with gambling. I just wanted to use one of Marco's favorite phrases. All right, Joe, I've used 3 teams that are number 280 or lower. I'm going to use a team that's number 328.
Oh.
And I'm using Northern Arizona, game 727. They're plus 12.5 against Montana. Listen, guys, this Montana team dominated the Big Sky for years. Eastern Washington took over last year, and it's just not the same Montana team. This Montana team has a tempo in the 300s. Northern Arizona has tempo in the 300s. This Montana team is number 311 shooting on offense. Yeah, they're going to win this game, but it's going to be a low-scoring game against the struggling offense that all of a sudden isn't just going to turn it on. Northern Arizona plus the 12.5, my best bet, game 727.
Gotta love that, guys. I'm going to be looking at under the 161 right now. Bryant St. Francis tonight, 7 o'clock. Bryant, yes, they're fast-paced. Number 4, I believe, in the country. But I don't trust St. Francis to get the 60 points in this game. That's a big number at 161, so I'm going to lead the under. So let's recap it here, guys, what we got going on. College hoops, best bets. Ralph Michaels. All I hear is chicken wing right now. Northern Arizona, plus 12.5. He's going with that. Dave Cokin, a lot of value here. Washington State, take the 9.5. Marco going against the grain. Give me the points, he said at home. Utah, plus 1.5. I like that under right there at 160. And the gold sheet is going Florida International, taking on FEU. Lay the 4.5 in that matchup. And once again, guys, quick reminder, everything that you need to make it a profitable week in college hoops is at Wager Talk right now with these 3 gentlemen. Go grab Marco's 5% play tonight. Hop on board with the birthday special for Dave Cokin. 10 days, guys. Every play, 10 days. Just $68 right now. Use the code LEGEND68 and get Ralph Michaels working for you. 30 days, every college hoops, every NBA play of his. 30 days for $199, all available to you at WagerTalk.com. So, Marco, pleasure, my friend. Enjoy the chicken wings. I'll meet you at Tampa Bay Down simulcast shortly. All right, make sure you guys are visiting them. Dave Cokin, thank you again. Happy birthday week. Ralph Michaels, always a pleasure, you and the pen. Guys, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Hit subscribe. Come back and join us again tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Make it a profitable night in college hoops, guys. Best of luck. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
customers at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com receive $25 in WagerBucks after your first initial purchase. All you have to do is sign up, make your purchase, and you'll get $25 in credit.